Hi everyone, I'm Alicia Vaz, and in today's session we'll be taking a look at how you can engage and collaborate with your community using ArcGIS Hub Premium. Today I'll explain what Hub Premium is, how it differs from Hub Foundation. We'll take a look at how we can create an initiative site, and finally see an initiative in action. So let's get started. ArcGIS Hub is a community engagement platform that's built on ArcGIS Online, and it's made up of two key components, Hub Foundation and Hub Premium. So what's the difference? Well, first and foremost, Hub Foundation is the new name for ArcGIS Open Data. It provides you with a way to share spatial and non-spatial data with staff or members of the public. This solution is designed to help you fulfill data transparency obligations and increase trust. Hub Premium, on the other hand, is a platform for two-way engagement. If perhaps you have a project, goal, or what we like to call an initiative that you want to rally staff and external collaborators on, then this is the solution for you. Unlike Hub Foundation, we also have the added benefit of providing your community members with an identity. So let's dig into this a little bit further. When I think about engaging with our community, I often think about using interactive apps to advocate our work, or even digital forms that we can use to collect feedback. But what if we could give our community members an identity, and therefore actively engage with them? They could follow what we're doing, or we could message them directly with updates. Beyond that, we could also recruit some of them to become active trained volunteers who we might trust to set up events or collect data on our behalf. Our community could also include members outside of our organisation, non-for-profits, commercial, government bodies, or even academics, individuals who have domain expertise that we could leverage. The good news is with Hub Premium, all of those parties can have an identity in our system, allowing us to work on the same platform. Even better, we can think of them as being co-creators, adding them to specific teams or tasking them with particular jobs. And we can do all of this and more using the concept of initiatives. So next, let's take a look at how we can create an initiative site of our own. The first thing we need to do is to launch Hub Premium, and this can be done from our ArcGIS Online account. When Hub Premium launches, we have the option to create a new initiative. If this is the first time you're using the solution, you might want to browse to the templates. Templates are simply a copy of an initiative. They include apps, a Hub site, and pages that you can use to get started. They're particularly useful if you have a repeatable initiative, like the ones that you can see in front of you. Alternatively, you can go back and create an initiative from scratch by adding in a title and clicking Create Initiative. Once your initiative has been created, it will open up a new site that looks like the following, which already contains a few elements. Now, one of the great things about Hub sites is that they're easy to configure without any hard coding whatsoever, so I can really make this initiative my own. In the first instance, I'd like to add in an appropriate banner. To do this, I can browse to an image on my computer and upload it. I can also play around with the appearance. So I can drill into the appearance settings, perhaps increase the transparency to really help the text pop in the forefront. Next, I can format the text using the text editor. I can change the font style, appearance, or even the alignment simply by using my mouse. However, if this doesn't give me enough flexibility, or perhaps I have to meet certain branding guidelines, then I have the option to open up the code view, where I can add in HTML. Again, this isn't required, but it does give us the extra flexibility to really make this site our own. To configure the rest of the site, we can use the layout cards to define the functionality we'd like to implement, just by simply dragging and dropping the card onto the page. Now, I may want to reference some useful applications that will allow others to self-serve, so for that reason, we'll use the gallery card. We can drag and drop it onto the page and dock it into the appropriate location. Once docked, I can use the settings on the left to browse to the group that contains my applications. And once the group has been referenced, we can see the content dynamically pulling through. Finally, I'd like to add a live Twitter feed, so we can grab the social media card, split the screen, add in the URL, and see the appropriate content pull through. Now you might be wondering how all of this is managed in the back end. Well, when you create an initiative site of your own, you'll end up with 3 new groups in your ArcGIS Online account, where you can manage your initiative's content in the content group, invite team members to work alongside you on the initiative using the core teams group, and share updates to followers who are now part of the followers group. So now that we've seen how to create an initiative of our own, let's take a look at an initiative in action. In front of us, we have our hypothetical local authority initiative, which aims to increase volunteering in and around open spaces in Sunnyside. As a member of the public, I've come to this site to discover more about this initiative that's happening in my community. As I scroll through the page, I'm presented with a number of different banners, which tells me a little bit more about the programme and perhaps how I can get involved. I can also see the latest statistics, from the number of volunteers they have, to the amount of community events already hosted, and the number of open spaces that have been adopted. And this is quite substantial. Next, I'm informed of how I can get involved, and there's a number of different levels, from simply following the initiative to keep up to date and get the latest news, all the way through to contributing ideas back to the team. I can also find out where events are near me using this interactive dashboard. I can see the different types of events, but also where the open spaces are should I wish to adopt one. I can also see how things are getting better using basic charts, the amount of cleanup events we've had over the past couple of months, but also the amount of rubbish that has been collected. And finally, I can find out more if I want to perhaps report litter on my latest walk, if I want to read a little bit more about volunteering and how I might be trained, or discovering the open space strategy for Sunnyside for 2021. Finally, there's a section on how I might get involved, which is currently blank, and also a calendar if there's any events going on near me at the moment. So as a member of the public, this has really caught my attention and I want to be kept updated. So I can go right to the top of the website and follow the initiative to keep up to date. I'm going to sign up with my Gmail account, tick the T's and C's, and create my account. So now that I have an identity, I can scroll down right to the bottom. You can see that there's a new application I can use if I want to apply to become a community volunteer. And in this scenario, I do, so I can go in and explore this further. The application launches a form I can use to fill in my details to become a community volunteer. I can put in my name, the postcode of where I live, if I want some personal contact details, emergency contact details, agree to the T's and C's, and submit the form. Next, we're going to pick up with the volunteer manager, who's logged into the same initiative site but with their credentials. And we can access a hidden tab called Administration, which allows us to review pending applications. We then have the permissions to either approve or reject the submission, so we are going to approve and submit our details back. So let's head back to our member of the public. She's received a notification to say her application has been approved, so she opens up the initiative once more, accepts the new notification, and navigates back to the initiative site itself. If she scrolls down to the bottom of the page, under Get Involved, she now has 2 additional capabilities to organise a community event or adopt an open space. So let's wrap things up. In today's session, hopefully you've been able to see how we can extend the open data capabilities of Hub Foundation using Hub Premium. We've seen how it enables two-way community engagement, allowing us to not only inform our audiences, but also to work alongside them cohesively to work towards our shared initiative. Hopefully you'll agree that it's been quite quick and simple to stand up an initiative site, just by simply dragging and dropping cards onto the right location on the page. But how beneficial it is to have that additional capability to hard code in HTML should the need arise. Also, because it is a community engagement platform that is sitting on top of ArcGIS Online, we can easily reference apps and content that's hosted in our account. And finally, how it gives us the ability to provide our community members with an identity, and over time, how that allows us to develop different levels of volunteers, whether it's actively interested, trained, or trusted collaborators. If today's session has inspired you to try out the capabilities in Hub Premium, then simply speak to your account manager to learn more, or contact our sales support team. And when you're ready to get started, check out the latest learning module, Getting Started with ArcGIS Hub Premium, at learn.arcgis.com.